What is going on? What is going on, beautiful people? Hey, welcome again to Whiskey Kind of Day. Yes, we're doing it on Thursday because this is the last day of 2020. Oh man, I am so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to the point where I didn't want to wait till Friday to give you this beautiful information about just planning your year out, your business, your structure, so you can move forward into 2021 and have the most opportunity to be successful at whatever you're trying to do. And if not, 2020 taught us anything else, it taught us to be prepared for anything. Be prepared for the things you don't think is possible to ruin your day, your year, your business. You got to be prepared, and the best way to be prepared, you have to think things through. You have to be very diligent on your business plan, your business model. And a great saying that I heard a couple of days ago was um, build your plan and then work your plan. So you got to be really focused on that. And so welcome again to Whiskey Kind of Day. This is a virtual happy hour where we're going to talk business and have a couple drinks amongst friends and other business owners, entrepreneurs. And we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the uglies of business, life, and more important, those days that just make you say, damn it, I need a drink. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have a drink. I got mine. And then my host, Don Amiche, an amazing good friend of mine. He is one of the most talented voiceover artists that I know, radio host, personality, and he's going to be working the show with me here today, making this thing most wonderful going into 2021. Welcome, Don. Thank you for being with me one more time, brother.
Well, I listen. This is a beautiful show. This is an amazing day to spend my New Year's Eve with you as we bring
Yeah.
in. You're in a city that's pretty much open. I'm in a city that's pretty much shut down. So, uh,
Wait. Correction. I'm in a city that's
they're living reckless.
technically is closed, but they don't care.
So your city is closed because they just closed the Santa Monica Pier here in Los Angeles.
Okay.
No restaurants are open for outdoor dining. No clubs are open. I know some people were defying that order, but for the most part, we're kind of screwed out here.
Well, man, listen. These people are reckless out here, man. So it's kind of you got to just take care of yourself and follow your own wit, because, man, people out here are still they just don't care. And I see the sad stories and hear the sad stories all more and more times every single day. And it gets closer and closer to home. The longer we sit in this thing, the more and more people are affected by it, with the loss of life or just illnesses that don't go away, or it's going to take time to go away. So, man, listen, I'd rather be safe than sorry. You know,
Absolutely.
put on a mask, stay at home, do what you got to do to be safe and protect you and your loved ones. But, hey, rather be safe than sorry.
Now,
But look,
where, are you at the whiskey? You at the whiskey, the cigar lounge, or you at home?
no, man, listen, it's New Year's Eve, so I want to spend time with my family, and that traffic, I don't know what it's going to be like tonight. Again, like I said, these people are crazy. So 9 times 10, they're going to be out today, running around town. So I didn't want no parts of traffic. Still shout out to the Attaché Cigar Lounge off of Count Wisdom Road in Dallas. That is my place and my spot. Unfortunately, tonight I'm not going to be able to be there because of traffic, and I just want to be closer to my family.
Right.
But I'm at home. Uh, I am a connoisseur of beverages, as my father would say. And so, I'm just at my house and I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating on some wonderful blue labels. So if I get a little quiet throughout this process, or as I'm already starting to sweat a little bit, just know that blue label is keeping me warm and toasty on this cool evening.
Yeah, I retired my brown stripes. I'm just with the clear liquid here.
What you got there in your glass?
This is Don Julio 2021 Reserve. And
Nice, man. Listen, if you're watching right now, I just want you to comment. Let us know what you got in your glass. I would love to partake on what you got. And for anything right now that you have, I just want to say cheers to making it through 365 days of one of the craziest years that I have ever experienced in my life.
bro,
So cheers to making it through 2020.
let me tell you something. This year has been just I don't even know what to say. Like COVID.
Mm-hmm.
My mother got cancer.
Oh my God.
It almost turned into now I have to raise my mother. That's where I was today, taking her grocery shopping. It's
Yeah.
almost as an adult, I have to kind of be a caregiver for her. Not that she's not independent, but this making sure she get to the doctors, her
Yeah.
surgery, taking
Yeah.
her chemo. It's just like you got COVID. Then I got this health thing with my mother, where I thought I was going to lose her this year, and
Mhm.
then the businesses are closing, life is being shut down. It's just like, wow, this is really the perfect storm of any possible year ever to happen. Like, this is the worst year on record.
It
I never
is.
thought
Yeah.
life could get this low to where all this kind of crap is happening at once.
Yeah.
It's been a very, very interesting year. I'm glad it's over with. I think, even if it's a day into January, I think that even psychologically will hopefully allow us to get better. But
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is the amazing part about what you just said is uh, January 1st is literally just a one day past 2020, and in in reality, nothing will have changed other than the digit of the year.
absolutely,
And yet, psychologically, the fact that we made it through it when so many people did not, um, to be honored with the opportunity to see another day and another year, psychologically breathes new life into your spirit. And I don't want to take that for granted. And I hope anybody that's watching this, anybody that's out there that knows anyone that may be down and depressed behind all the things that have happened through 2020, I hope you encourage them to understand that with every new minute, not every new day, but with every new minute that you breathe life, or you breathe oxygen into your body, you should take that as a gift to continue to try to push forward, because it is 2020 has been difficult, and if it ain't taught you anything else, it has taught you to appreciate life.
yeah.
Really has, man.
Yeah,
It really,
a lot of people, it's very shocking, but a lot of people this year, I know Taraji P. Henson just, released was talking about how she contemplated suicide.
wow.
And so this year has been a struggle. Like, just because you think someone has it together,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean that they have it together. Somebody who, we look at Taraji P. Henson, who's a beautiful woman. She's been in a lot of movies. Look like she's
Right.
a very successful acting career, but she contemplated suicide a couple of times. Now, she said these were thoughts
Crazy.
that ran through my mind that I had to get out. But, you just never know what people are going through this year, and the amount of stress with COVID, people losing their jobs, cities shutting down, your life kind of being infringed upon by not being able to go where you want and please, and kind of breathe fresh air when you want to breathe fresh air. It takes a toll on a lot of people. So, it's as we move into the new year, check on your people you love. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and listen, I say that all the time, man. Check on your strong friends.
Yeah,
Because just because you're strong friends, you consider them strong, man, that don't mean life doesn't get heavy for them too.
absolutely.
They just carry it different.
So, how's business been for you over the past decade? We were talking earlier before the show about how when you first started business,
Yeah.
you were a personal trainer,
Yeah, man.
and you got your first client. They gave you a check for $800 personal training session. How did that feel when you first kind of got um, when you first got that check and you first got that client, the check, and you're like, I can do this. I can sustain myself on my own without having to worry about somebody else paying me. Like worry about working for somebody. Is what I'm saying.
Man, listen. So
And
that's
shout out to Dwayne Cofield, who's tapping in. What's up, Dwayne?
what's up, Dwayne, man. Appreciate you stopping in, brother. What are you drinking? You got to chime in on that in a minute here. But no, man.
I think Dwayne would be like, I'm smoking. Not
No, well, back in 2008 is when I brought business to Dallas. I actually started a business with a friend of mine in Louisiana. We started a fitness business where we really focused on sports performance. So we
Right.
were working with high school students, we were working with college students, and we wanted to focus on those athletes that weren't first string, second string. They was third, fourth string. They wanted to improve themselves. They wanted to fight to get to the top of their skill set. So we worked with them. Great concept, man. It was very rewarding. It was a low customer entry threshold. I think it was like maybe $10 or $15 a session, and we enjoyed ourselves working with these young athletes. And when I had to move back to Dallas, um, it was a no-brainer for me to stay on that same path. It took me a minute to get things together, obviously relocating. So I became a general manager at a local gym in Duncanville, Texas.
Duncanville.
Yeah, saved up my money, and I was able to kind of move around. Got blessed with a car and things like that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be different. I'm going to do traveling fitness service.
Which is kind of like a thing now.
It's a thing now. I started this back in 2007. Traveling fitness service. I was driving around.
I come to you.
I was doing full workout services in people's living room. It started out with it started out with most people had apartment complex. Apartment complex, they offer you a gym, and that's one of their amenities. Oh, we got a gym, but you go in the gym and it's like a couple of dumbbells and a rope.
You got one treadmill. You maybe got a machine and a scale.
So it's nothing. So I started targeting people that had gyms in their apartment complex. They didn't really know how to use them. So I was like, hey, for X amount of dollars, I'll come meet you at your gym in your apartment complex, and we'll do a workout session. And it slowly started moving. And then finally I hit a client where I wanted to buy all this equipment that I can bring with me. And I finally hit the client that was going to pay me the money that I needed to get all this stuff. So I'm like, finally, my business is about to blow to that next level. I'm about to be good. Wrote me a check for $800. I'm happy. Worked all that day. And then I went home, and I wanted to cash that check because I was super excited. Wanted to go ahead and order my stuff. This is when eBay was more popular than anything. So you order it off of eBay. So didn't have a bank account at the time, so I went to a check cashing place. It was a 24-hour check cashing place. Go in the check cashing place, cash my check, and I come out. And as I'm getting in my car, this Crown Vic comes skirting up behind me. Two guys jump out with guns. One put a gun to my head, and the other put the gun to my back and said, man, get off of that you just pulled out.
Wow. So your $800 that you were so happy for.
Yes, man. My $800 that I just worked so hard for, I was so happy for. I was so excited that I was moving in the right direction. They took that. They took my Motorola Razor. That was the joint back. They took my Motorola.
A while ago. This was a while ago.
Yeah, right. I mean, they took my wallet. They took my keys. And they burnt off on me. And I sat there. And I was so defeated, simply because at that moment I could have thought about 20 or 30 different ways I could have accomplished the same thing without having put myself in that situation. If I would have just thought it through.
This is a great situation. This is an unexpected thing.
Right.
What did you say? Bullshit-isms when it comes to business.
Right, man.
This is nothing that you were doing that was being reckless. You were trying to just go about your business, and somebody that got you as the mark.
Yeah.
How differently? Oh, and by the way, Dwayne is tapping in saying he's not drinking, but you already know he's smoking high quality H2O. I'm sorry. You already know high quality H2O. I don't know what that means, and I'm not going to speculate what that means.
Good stuff, man. I'm glad you're here. That's all that matters.
But so going back to that situation, you got that check. How would Gabriel in 2020 or moving into 2021 take that situation do it differently? You know what I'm saying? Because that was the first introduction to business. You got the first check. You were going to go cash it at the check cashing spot. You left yourself vulnerable to people pulling the lick, and you were the lick. So what did you learn from that situation, of what you could have done differently?
Well, in that moment, obviously there was a lot of anger.
Absolutely.
But as time progressed, and I realized that probably the most important thing that I took away from that is if I would have just took a few moments, because there was many dollars before that check. But those small dollars, I was spending that money to keep moving when I could have been spending a little bit and saving a little bit or opening a bank account And I think that's my downfall is I didn't take the time to really think about opening a bank account, something that could secure my finances as I was trying to grow what I felt was a very viable business opportunity. And the reality of it is here we are 13 years later, and it is one of the biggest industries known to the United States
Fitness.
right now because everybody's stuck inside. Whether it's personal trainers coming to your home or online, whatever the case may be. This was something that I did 13 years ago, and that is one of the hottest things in the market. So it really hurt in the sense that that was something so simple. I think at the time, all you needed was like $50 to open up a bank account. And I made that $50 10, 20 times over.
So why didn't you open the bank account?
Uh, it was really because
Was it just
and yeah, man, at the time it was all about funding gasoline, making sure I can get to where I was going, and so this all happened in the turn of 2008, where we had one of the biggest financial crises that the United States have seen since the Great Depression,
yeah.
and so the thing that affected me most was gas prices went through the roof. And so a lot of that money was going towards maintaining the gas prices because at the end of the day, I didn't want to tell a client, "Hey, I can't come to our session because I don't have gas."
Were you in LA or Dallas?
I was in Dallas. I
Oh,
was in Dallas.
oh, you didn't feel LA's pain. It was $5 a gallon out here.
Well,
It was $5 a gallon.
well, listen, I didn't feel it then, but in was it 2012? I had my truck and it was 478.
Look at a 22-gallon tank.
31.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Look at that.
so needless to say, shortly after that, I shipped my truck back to Texas. But
So the lessons you learned from that situation.
yeah, man. Well, that's really what it came down to, man. Is if I would just took a few more minutes to really plan out how I wanted to move forward and grow my business. If I had someone to really kind of explain to me the true importance of having a bank account, um, and there are so many other benefits other than the ability to say I would not have had to go to that check cashing place. I would have more security going to an actual branch bank or other possibilities that really could have came along with having a bank account at that time. And that's just part of that process. If somebody would have just had those conversations with me, or if I would have knew those things in advance, that could have been a totally different scenario for me.
Right.
And so if you can imagine that $800 loss, that was something that, um, did my camera go out?
I think I got you. I still hear you, but we seem to have lost you for a second. Let's see if I can get you back in. I'm not sure. I think we lost your picture. It's darkness.
Oh man, let's see here.
I don't know if it's the camera. Webcam utility is what I'm getting. There we go. We got you.
We'll just do that. All right. So, so yeah, man, that's just really what it was. It came down to just having those issues, and I think just planning out the steps and moving forward to be successful in my business could have obviously eliminated some of those headaches along the way. And that $800, that was a session, that was several sessions that this client had paid for.
So you were in the hole.
Yeah, so I still had to honor those, and I still had to go and make other money so I can continue to function. So with,
would you say before you start doing any type of business,
mhm,
the best piece of advice you can offer one person is to think everything out, to structure your business out. You know you're going to get paid. You know you're going to be needing gas. You know you're going to be having expenses. How do we basically facilitate all these things so that we're not juggling and rolling on the fly?
well, one of the biggest things is kind of now is you have some business coaches out there that kind of walk you through these processes. But what these business coaches really do is they help you understand the roadblocks that you're going to have along your journey of entrepreneurship, starting up your business. And that's really what it's all about, is taking the time to not just have a great idea and a concept, but putting together a system, putting together a structure, a game plan on how you're going to move from point A to point B. If If plan A fails, what is your plan B? What is plan C? What are these alternative options that you really have that's going to help keep you moving forward? Plan A may get you 10 paces, but plan C may get you 2 paces. But
Right.
guess what? If you don't have a plan C, then you don't even have 2 paces to move forward. You're just stuck still. So it's best to have something than nothing. And that's really anything that I would tell anybody, especially I should have, I wish I could have, told 2008 me, is to really have multiple backup plans and options on taking the time to really sit down and structure out the business and really being able to, like I said, just plan it all out,
Mhm.
really think it through, get a real solid idea on how you want to move, and just secure your business so it doesn't fail in the future.
We have a guest that we're going to bring on here in a second, Matthew Houston, who's an entrepreneur,
Yeah,
activist,
man.
educator. I want to talk to you about Plan F,
Yeah.
the friends and family plan.
Oh
Um,
man.
when it comes to business, we think we try to pull from our tribe. How
Right.
has it been with getting friends and family to come? Because you're running a Fubu Mobile store in Dallas right now.
Right.
Have you reached out to the friends to come out, support the business, family to come support
Absolutely.
the business?
Absolutely.
And how is that? Is that a stream of revenue or a line that you can rely on to kind of not necessarily carry a business, but at least kind of help you get the word out, maybe buy some stuff?
You know what? It's from speaking from my experience, I have been truly, truly blessed to have some very genuine supporting people throughout my life. And so for me, I've received a lot of great feedback and I receive a lot of great support. And I'm glad you brought this up because it's one of those things where I would tell anybody, don't hang your hat on your family and friends being the supporting structure of your business. You have to build your business with the concept of targeting people that need your service and they know nothing about you.
Yeah,
They're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart.
Dwayne Copa is just checking in, basically saying, he says, I don't think you can rely on family and friends. It's not sustainable to be able to help you out in the long term.
It's not. It's not. I mean, you really have to look at it from a standpoint of your family and friends. I've even had one guy turn around and say he had family who wouldn't support him because he had his own business. And they was like, oh man, you got money, you got your own business. And he's like, no, man, I'm broke because I
Yeah,
got my
yeah.
own
Just
business.
because you got a business and you got your little shingle out there trying to catch some fish, don't mean that you got money. It means, man, it may mean the actual opposite. I may be in a worse situation than you.
Absolutely. So, I think that's very true. A lot of times your family, if it's not a family collective business, a lot of times family will look at it from a standpoint of you had the money to start this business. Obviously, you have money.
Right.
And so their support is more pat on the back or good job or whatever the case may be. But it's not going to be a financial revenue source. And so, if you're looking at it from that perspective, absolutely tap into your family and friends. Don't discredit that, but just don't look at it as an opportunity to say, "Hey, man, my family going to carry me. My friends are going to carry me and my business into success." It's not going to happen.
Wow.
It's not going to happen. Look at it from a standpoint of they're going to give you the motivation, they're going to give you the support, hopefully, to keep pushing forward. But at the end of the day, just leave it for what it is. Good family support and a foundation. Yeah.
Some good lessons there from you. Plan ahead. Think about what you're going to be doing with your money before you even start making it. Structure it out, and don't necessarily rely on family and friends to carry your business. Although you know what, any little support will help at this point in time.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring in Matthew Houston at this time, who's an entrepreneur, activist, and educator. How you doing, Matt? Now, Matt, where are you? Are you in Dallas also?
I'm in Oak Cliff, man. In fact, call me Matt. You can call me Matt. And I'm about 5 minutes from that Can Wisdom, from that cigar spot. So, Gabriel, Gabe, next time we go out there, when it's not so much COVID, because like you said, we're supposed to be sheltering in place, but everyone's acting up here in Texas.
Oh man,
I would like to raise a drink to the Oak Cliff Assassins, who I've love their music.
That's a throwback. What you know about that, Doc?
Listen, I spent some time in Texas. Okay, Yeah, me and Gabe, when I start playing some DSR or some Twin Black,
Fat beast.
yeah, you know,
Hey,
piece,
Matt, when I first met Dunn, he pulled up in my apartment complex. Now we're in LA. He pulled up in the apartment complex in a two-tone Cadillac DeSantil on 22s.
Come on, man.
I missed that. You don't understand how much I missed that car. I had candy red on one side, chrome on the other, candy paint. You know what I'm saying? With gray, blue pinstripes sitting on them things.
All you needed was some choppers with some blades on that mug.
In Los Angeles, bro. I said, wait a minute, who is this?
It's not an LA car. You can't have that car in LA because the police
No,
will be over in a second. You damn sure can barely have it in Dallas. But let me tell you something. I missed that car, man.
You can't have it in LA because of the potholes. You were tearing those rims up left and right.
Yeah, buddy. Well, now y'all were talking about gas in 2008, man. I was driving a Chevy pickup at that time.
Oh,
so I remember those gas prices when they were $4.50 and $4.75 a gallon. So, and I was driving all over the state.
Jesus, man. Well, man, listen. First off, you didn't ask a question. What are you drinking?
Oh, some Cavatier cognac over here. Very special.
That man is
Shouts
classic.
out to the ladies, man. I feel scared. I have my classic glass. I feel like it's classic for New Year's Eve.
There you go.
2020 was off the chain, right?
Exactly.
And it was a terrible 365 and a half days for me, because this is a leap year. This is one of the longest years, literally and figuratively, in history.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. You're right. It's been a long ass year.
Yes.
So tell me, Matt, now, man, I was looking over your bio and I've always been impressed with you, brother. Like, you always have impressed me, even when you was chasing me down the trumpet line, man. You've always been an impressive young man.
So hold on, before you ask this question, you talk about your training session. I remember you before you even did that in 2008. You used to come. You graduated high school in 2000. You are a drum major, 99 and in 2000. And when you would come back for our band camps, you will spearhead our training or summer camps. So you would have this highly intensified training. So you were hazing and training the folk, high schoolers, back in the gap, 98, 99, 2000. So I still remember those days.
Wow. Well, listen, I wasn't hazing. First off.
No, that's right. You're right. It was a condoned environment that was very productive, and it built character in the young men and women of the Townview Big D band.
You know what's funny, man? One day I was out there, and Mr. Hill pulled me to the side. And he said, "Hey, D, chill out a little bit on them. They not on your level yet."
Now you were intense, bro. Like you were intense, but you set the tone. Like you set a great tone for us in the band, and you literally was a pillar, right? You literally created the Townview marching band, and I want to say you marched at Roosevelt for a couple of years before you marched at Townview, and you did all your stuff at Holmes Middle School. But that whole attitude created what our class really felt was an important step for us to be the best band in the land. And so your intensity, you translated that after high school. You did that in Southern when you were on College Hill. We admired you from afar, and you have the prototypical characteristics of an entrepreneur. You're intense, you have a lot of passion, and you start and finish projects with fervor and vigor. So those are great attributes for entrepreneurs.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I truly try to live a life of leading by example. I never tell anybody to do something I haven't done myself, or I'm not in the middle of doing myself.
Yes, sir.
I saw that on your resume where you a servant leader, and a lot of people don't understand what a servant leader is. And I'm gonna tap into your professor nature right now. You're a professor for the School of Business of the University of North Texas here in Dallas. Tell us a little bit about your program and what you're doing over there.
Perfect. So I was blessed to join the faculty as an adjunct in 2017. I'm at UNT Dallas. It's a fairly new fairly new university. We started technically in 1998 as an extension of UNT in Denton. In 2010, we had our own facility. We moved to our own campus on University Hills Boulevard. And in 2014, we've gotten a separate accreditation. So we are an accredited four-year institution with the law school. So we are already at university status. And I was, at the time, I was chair of the Dallas Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm the Pi Alpha Sin. So I was a leader in the community. And whenever there was an administration change, I always emailed the incoming president or incoming provost to say, hey, my name is Matt Houston. I live in this neighborhood. I live 5 minutes within this space. I appreciate you being here. I would love to sit down and have lunch with you to talk about your intentions for your institution in our city. Always a blanketed email.
Right.
Bob Mong, who was the third president of the university, the first president, Dr. Price, great brother, who was an accountant type deal, pretty much created that school. But Bob Mong, former publisher of the Dallas Morning News, is our current president.
Right.
And he took me up on that offer, and we sat down at Trinity Groves and had lunch, and just talked about the neighborhood, the community, what UNT Dallas can do for the school. And I told him we need to have more representation of people in the community, because we are not just this desolate area of 450,000 people. We actually have professors, we have ministers, we have professionals here who is not being represented in what people view of what Dallas is. People think Black and brown people who live south of Trinity, the Trinity River, are desolate or are ignorant and don't have high aspirations. Well, that's false. And so when I showed him my case, he asked, well, do you want to teach entrepreneurship? Let me first backtrack and say, I also received my economics degree from Southern Methodist University and my MBA from Texas Christian University. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 13 years old.
Wow.
But I literally, the first paycheck I received was first paycheck with benefits I received from another entity outside of my business was when I taught at UNT Dallas. That was the first time in my life. And so just being able to teach entrepreneurship and to teach leadership in the School of Business, two classes that I'm very passionate about.
That's impressive.
I still practice that every day. I just want to instill that into the lives of our future in Oak Cliff and beyond.
Man, that is absolutely impressive and so notable. 13. What were you doing at 13, man? What was I doing?
No, man, it was out of necessity. My dad didn't want to pay any more, no more allowance stock. So he loaned me his lawnmower. He gave me a 5-gallon container of gas. He gave me one of those 1-gallon containers that have half gas, half oil for the for the edger. He said, I will loan you my lawnmower. I will give you your first round of fuel, but you have to figure out how you can make money for the year during these 3 months of summer in the neighborhood cutting these folks' yard, because I'm not paying you allowance anymore.
Wow.
And at that point on, he knew I didn't like to wake up early. So he said, it's cooler when it's early. So you can either wake up at 10 and be hot, or you can wake up at 5 or 6 and you can be done by noon, make you some money, and not be as hot. And so he created this ecosystem where I had to make decisions quickly.
Wow.
And it wasn't, he didn't say, I'm going to teach you entrepreneurship. He said, no, you want money, right? I said, yes, sir.
Get down to the root of it.
I'm not giving you any more, but you can make it, you can earn it. And that's literally what he did. He said, there you go, go ahead. And that's what I did. I went from doing that. I sold honey buns and M&Ms and stuff at school. I used to go to Sam's, buy them in bulk at Sam's. Slang them at the middle and high schools for some change. I mean, I was always that entrepreneurial.
Were you the guy that beat me up because I owed him candy money?
No, I wasn't that. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
No, there was a guy who used to sell candy back in the day, and he was, he would let you slide for a couple of days with some credit.
Well, no, that's
you
the
didn't
first
have money by the next week. That wasn't you.
Cash only player. No,
Okay.
I'm a part of the Rudy's chicken philosophy.
I,
It's cash only over here.
You want them now, ladies? You want them charms? Go ahead, you take them.
You
Bring
take
them my money.
Wait a minute, done. You got
That's good. That's very gracious.
charged up because you didn't pay the man for candy.
Well, he pressed me one day. And then after that, I went and found his money somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought me and him was cool. But
See,
you thought you
never give between a man and his money. You never get between a man and his money.
Yeah,
and what I learned then was a ledger is a ledger, whether it's 50 cents or $50,000.
Absolutely.
So, I like to always be in the black.
Okay, nice to know you were my bully.
Yeah. Thanks, John. But no, that was literally the foundation of what I do today. And it's not rocket science. It's just something I've always been passionate about. I've always been passionate about Black people, Black community, Oak Cliff, advancing the Black community so we can advance human society. And I just want to play my part in whatever I do. I do that in my business, in my consulting firm. I do that at the school, and I do that in whatever initiatives I'm a part of.
Man, that's absolutely beautiful. Well, let's touch on that consulting thing. Here we are at the threshold of 2021. And as I said earlier, 2020 has taught us a lot of different lessons that we can carry forward if we just sit down and take a moment to take it all in. Although it is a lot to take in, if we just take it all in and look with it from a different glass of perspective, we probably can see some things, some ups and some downs, or some things that we can take with us and help us better ourselves moving forward. So creating it into a question, young entrepreneurs. And there's a lot of people jumping into the business spaces, whether it's e-commerce, they taking these hustles and turning them into legitimate businesses. Where's this a t-shirt business, it's a hat business, it's I've seen some design artists come out trying, jump into the web design space.
My wife is one of them. Check out the Fab Lab DFW. She started her own business during COVID. And so small things like that.
Yeah, man. Because these trying times make you think outside the box, as you said. If someone say they're not giving you no more money, which a lot of businesses did because they have to shut their doors, you have to find money yourself. So what would you say 2020 has taught you about the business realm for startups that they need to kind of think about going into or creating these new businesses just straight out the gate? What is something that they probably need to think about straight out the gate when they're coming up with their concept and ideas?
So the first thing is kind of anti-theoretical or anti what everyone else is doing. And that's typically in 2020, when everyone's panicking and freaking out, most entrepreneurs are seeing an opportunity. Because what's happening is that norms are shifting. When things like a pandemic happen, or when 2020 hit, or when there's a recession, or things of that nature, what that's saying, what the market is saying, is that we are sick of what's been happening. We're ready for the new. That's how entrepreneurs, and when entrepreneurs live in that space, we get excited. Now, as a human being, as a person, 2020 was rough for me. It was rough emotionally. It was rough physically. We're not able to go to the gyms like we were saying earlier. The social interactions prohibited us from investing in our physical bodies, things of that nature. But as a business owner, as someone who is not at the top of a certain industry, who's not suffering tremendously from a pandemic, I can explore and figure out what are the new markets, like E-Trade, like Bitcoin, like blockchain, things of that nature, is available, because now people are more prone to exploring something. And when you're able to create a product that people are willing to explore, that kind of helps you stretch out a little bit and not allow you to be in the blues or in the doldrums of COVID. But what entrepreneurs need to understand is that you literally live in both worlds. Okay. So you're literally going to be happy or optimistic that you can create a business, but your life is going to suck because you live currently in this pandemic. And so you have to learn to cope with having a dual personality, if you will.
So preparing yourself to cope with those dual worlds, which I mean, it's one of those things. Is I can't tell you how many times people assume that owning a business is some luxurious lifestyle. You know, as if I get up in the morning and I drink my coffee, I sit and read the Wall Street Journal, and then I make it to the store by 11 or 12 o'clock, and I wave to my associates or something, and I don't do anything all day, and I just got money rolling in, and that's not the case at all.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And you said it earlier today. People think that when you start your own business, people think, "Oh, you making some money."
Yeah.
No, I'm spending my money in the hopes that I can make a profit. Most people don't even understand what entrepreneurship is. People think being an entrepreneur is being a hustler, or is having a trick or a trade that you can sell for. That's not necessarily entrepreneurship. That's a part of it, but that's not the whole picture. The whole picture is that a talent or a skill that you have that you can own in hopes that you can get a profit. So it's that plus the risk that you place in hopes for a profit. That is the whole picture of entrepreneurship. And that's what I want to teach young and aspiring entrepreneurs,
Right.
that there are three parts to the solution, the equation.
Right.
There is the skill set or the thing that you're good at, but then there's also the risk that you're going to make, that you're going to take, in hopes that you're able to get a profit.
There you go, man. There you go.
Give me 2 seconds, guys. All right, give me 2 seconds. 1 second.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Don, man, I think that's an amazing statement that he just made there. Really understanding what entrepreneurship is, and he nailed it on the head. And I mean, obviously, he's a professor. He teaches entrepreneurship and leadership, so he knows what he's talking about. Somebody's paying him to teach that, so I have to give them credit to say that he knows what he's talking about.
You know, I think when you go into business, I think you need. And the key takeaways from this whole conversation here is don't expect any help. Have a plan and just execute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I go back to what we were talking about earlier of how you're saying fitness was all the rage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you would have came up with a plan back in the day, executed it, you kind of look, where would that business model be?
Right.
At this point in time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the, you're learning from our mistakes here. You know what I'm saying? Or not even mistakes, but the things that we've stumbled upon.
Right.
Lessons here in this time. So a plan, don't expect no help, and just execute the plan and stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? And you'll succeed over time.
Exactly, Doc. Now, you may get help. Help may come. I don't want to tell people that you'll never get help. But most people err in terms of expecting help. When you expect something that doesn't happen, you become disappointed. When you become disappointed, you become pissed. When you become pissed, you don't want to do nothing no more.
Absolutely.
So don't have that expectation that people are going to help you. If you're passionate about it, create the plan yourself and start executing your plan. If you're passionate enough, if it's something that the market demands, if it's something that I'm going to want or need, I'm going to gravitate toward it. But it has to be out in the ether. And I think y'all talked about the friends and family plan earlier in this podcast, in this message. And it's such a two-edged sword because you want to and you should and you need to embrace your friends and family, but all your family members ain't good. Like the cousins and them.
Well, my mama, I know I can get one order from my mama. I know that.
Yeah, mama will take care of you. Mama's solid, right? But you have to understand the skill sets of your family members. Some people just aren't built to be investors. Some people are built to be consumers. So your availability for your cousins isn't, hey man, I want you to go in $5,000 to invest. It could be, you know what? I'm doing a virtual thing every Friday you producing a new thing every week, buy you one thing at $5 a pop or $10 a pop. You're gonna spend that at the bar anyway. Just
Yeah.
spend it on yourselves.
Yeah.
Those are ways I try to include them in.
So we've talked about the pitfalls and things you have to watch out for when it comes to business. Let's talk about 2021 things that can get you ahead.
Okay.
And I would love to hear from both of you guys on, are there things that you're applying for? Are there grants you're looking out for? Is there money from the government? What, as a business owner who's either started a business in 2021, moving into 2020, moving into 2021, or thinking about starting a business in 2021, we know you got to keep the structure of your business. You got to plan ahead. But is there anything that can help us get an advantage moving forward, whether it be through grants, maybe the government, maybe just any type of tips that you guys can offer?
I have a couple things. The first thing, there are three things I like to tell anyone who's starting in a business, whether it's last year, whether it's going into 2021. You need three things. You need the ABCs of a successful business. The A, you need to have a solid account. You need to know someone who has a CPA firm who focuses on entrepreneurs or small business, who knows the tax laws and knows how the tax law change each year. So this is December 31st, 2020. If you are starting a business January 1st, 2021, you need to hire a CPA or a CPA agency that's going to know the laws that the new administration will put in effect for 2021. That's your A. The B is you need to have a solid banking relationship. A banking relationship normally, traditionally, is with a bank, a large or a regional or a bank like that. But a bank can also be financial services. It can also be someone who's in private equity. It could also be your cousins or family who come to some good money and they've gotten to a place in their family where the wifey's good, family's in the coasting space, and they have $10,000, $20,000 to a year to invest in something, right? That could be your banker also, outside of traditional banks. That's your B. And your C, you have to have solid counsel or an attorney. If you have those three things, if you have a strong attorney, a business attorney, not a criminal attorney, not a civil rights attorney, a business or a corporate attorney, depending on your business structure, to protect you of those things that can possibly affect you negatively as an entrepreneur. If you seek out those three things, that'll make you successful. And they're not that expensive if you start at the ground level. You're going to spend a little bit of money. I would let's say I would have about $1,000 to $2,000 for the year to find out a good accountant, a good banker, and a good counsel, right? You don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars. But if you are an entrepreneur, that means you should have money that you want to set up to build the infrastructure. That means building your DBA, means going to the state Secretary of State, or being incorporated federally. All those things are needed in order to be successful.
So I want to piggyback on this, what you just said. I should allocate money. I'm a small business. Maybe I'm making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. Okay.
Right.
I need to allocate money for a CPA. I need to allocate money, and you can get one for about maybe $300 on a retainer.
Yeah.
That'll do your taxes. There are plenty of things out there that will help you out.
And they're seasonal, so you're not paying them every month. So
right. You know what I'm saying? So because I just changed one of my LLCs and moved over to an S corp. Mm-hmm. And so what the company that I had restructure everything had an accountant reach out to me, and he was like, "Listen, I charge $300 a month. I'm going to do your taxes. I've got a website you can funnel everything through. I'm going to help you restructure your business." So what you're saying is, don't shortchange that, no matter what size.
No, do not because you're going to feel it in the back end. Like whether it's your business is misclassified, where you're going to pay a larger tax rate, or if it's just someone who just don't know what they're doing or don't have the bandwidth and not focusing on the types of business transactions you're making. CPAs could take a look at that. They take a deep dive, if you will, in your spending habits, and they know the federal laws because federal laws change every year. As small as your mile allocation, whether it's 54 cents a mile wherever you drive, to knowing how much you can deduct for arts and for sports and entertainment and arts and entertainment for a business meal, to the regulations on what constitutes a business meal. Those are the things CPAs know. And there's no, because all three of those individuals aren't like traditional entrepreneurs. They're more like doctors because they are bound by a statewide or federal agency that is holding their accreditation accountable. If
Right.
they don't, if they fail to do that, they lose their accreditation.
Yep.
So they're not really trying to charge you tens of thousands of dollars for a liable type deal because they'll become disbarred.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So the business attorney thing, that was another thing that I really didn't, I haven't heard. The CPA I've heard, and I'm like, from my perspective, I'm like, my business is not that good. I'll just do it through QuickBooks. But this year, I've been thinking like, you know what? Let me put that in somebody's hands that are a little bit more knowledgeable than me, that can, do the invoicing, that can sit there and collect the bread, basically map it all out, so I don't have to worry about what's what, because I'm not educated in that aspect of tax, and I don't want to become liable for some things that the government comes back to say, well, you can't write that off.
That's real. That's legit. And so, having QuickBooks or having an accountant doesn't mean, as an entrepreneur, you should never know accounting principles or bookkeeping. I think every entrepreneur needs to learn that skill. But as you learn it and you're proficient in it, and you've identified that the more time you work on QuickBooks takes time away from you earning money, then you figure out a trade-off. You figure out a trade-off of, is $300 a month worth me paying so I can bill 10 more hours a month
more efficient
something.
And I ain't got to worry about it.
Right. So if I bill, it's one of my services, I bill $150 an hour. So that's 2 hours worth of stuff. I can either clunk around on QuickBooks, fixing stuff or doing invoices, or I can work 2 strong hours and have a bookkeeper do all that stuff for the month. Those are the type of choices that, as you grow in your, and I wasn't like that at the very beginning of my entrepreneurship journey. I was doing QuickBooks. Like, I had a schedule. So on Mondays, I did billings, and I look at my bank account every day, every morning before I see the day. I need to know how much money's in that bad boy. Then I make sure I know what QuickBooks are. Then I have to know what marketing is, because I have to promote myself, because I'm not paying anyone to promote for me, because I ain't got no money right now. Now, once I start making money, I pay for a team, right? You have to do all these things yourself before you can delegate that to someone else, because you need to be the expert in that, so that when you become a boss and you hire people, you not only tell people, you know what, I need you to do this, this, and this. When they try to buck at you and say, well, you know what, I can do this better than you. Oh, word, I don't need you real quick. You just go home real quick. I'll take care of my stuff. So that you can prove to them, like, no. You're not needed. You're wanted.
Okay, so the question I have here is that, when do you make the move? At what point? At what point do you make the move from doing it yourself to farming it out to someone that can do it as efficiently or better than what you can do? Like, how do you make that determination of, like, you know what, I got $400. I can keep it in myself, but like, I need to pay somebody to do this, because maybe this time that I'm dedicating to this frees me up.
Let me ask.
That's a great question. Go ahead, Gabe. I'm sorry.
Let me ask this. So one of the things that was hard for me is I am definitely one of those people where I like to touch every aspect of my business. Just because being such a creative thinker, I literally want to see how everything moves, because I feel like that me understanding every aspect of the business, how it's moving, helps me creatively design the next leg or the next marketing or the next structure. I'm able to really think beyond what's in front of me, but think past that by knowing how everything is moving. However, once the business starts to get to a certain level where touching everything starts to lack in other places, that's when I started to realize that, hey, although I truly feel like I am capable of doing X, Y, and Z, I probably need to have someone else do it so I can continue to be the creative thinker to move the business forward. Me sitting down doing the books every single day is taking away time for me to creatively think about the next marketing plan, because the next marketing plan needs to go out today for next month. It doesn't need to go out next month. I mean, it doesn't need to be created next month for next month. It needs to be created now. And so as a business owner, if you're that creative mind that's created the business, then your job is to continue to create those genius moments, that genius product, to continue to move the business forward. So once whatever those little small pieces of the business is that you're holding on to, that you can point out to somebody else, is starting to take away from your ability to be creative and be the mastermind behind what made your business great. That is the moment where you need to start really thinking about, okay, what is it going to cost me to have somebody else do this? And then put those numbers to put it to the math. If it takes me 3 or 4 hours to do books, and technically I say my hourly rate is, $100 an hour. Well, if it takes me $400 to sit down and do my books, because that's what I'm charging myself, or does it those 400 those 4 hours, what kind of marketing strategy can I come up with? Well, me personally, in 4 hours, I can come up with 5 or 6 different marketing strategies, and in 3 or 4 different alternative ways. So I got 5 different marketing strategies, but I also have 4 or 5 demographics for every marketing strategy that I just came up with. So I got 12 plans of attack, or 15 plans of attack, somewhere around. And I've been drinking. I can't do math right now. But I got several plans of attack at this point, where now when I push this marketing plan out there, I'm really utilizing my dollars to capture the most qualified customer, because I had the opportunity to really sit down and scale that out, because I am the creative brain behind that, versus those 4 hours going to books. Then that marketing strategy is going to make me well over this $400 or this $300 I'm paying this guy.
So you really got to make a tough decision whether you got the money coming in. It's easy for you to do the books. You'll save a few $100s here, or you got to look at this more so as an investment in the business to free yourself up so that you can be more productive.
Yes.
And you may miss out on some small term money right now because you're spending money on an accountant or a lawyer or whatever. But long term, that's the big thing here we have to always think about when it comes to business. Long term, this is going to pay off because it's going to make you more productive at the end of the day.
Exactly. And so I think both of y'all, Don and Gabe, y'all made some great points. And y'all are both right, actually. It just depends on when you want to pull the trigger, right? Because one,
I want to get that $300. That's gas money.
Come on now.
I might be able to go get some ribeye somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might have $100 on the side. Let me get that cell phone bill for you real quick. You know what I'm saying?
That's not my life anymore. But I totally understand, right? But you're making a great point, right? And so, if your original question is, when is the time I should staff up, right? Because when you start staffing up, that's when the money hemorrhages starts, right? Because people must get paid. One thing that is a guarantee: whenever you are hiring someone, you're going to have to pay them on Friday, right?
Yep.
Oh, I think we lost Matt. We lost you.
No, I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
So really quickly, whenever you figure out, learn the types of different web-based opportunity business things you have. Learn QuickBooks, learn a CRM. CRM is like a Salesforce. There's a Hootsuite is a watered down CRM that allows you to market things out and communicate to people.
And that's
Find
a
a
whole
constituency relation
that
manager.
we need to have on CRM. That's a whole nother show we need to have on that.
Yeah.
There are digital versions of a chief marketing officer, chief financial officer, a chief operations officer, chief information officer. There are apps for that, but those apps can only take you a certain place, right? As a budding entrepreneur, you can use all of those to discount the amount of money you're spending. But once you realize you need more power, or you need to the administrative task is taking away from how much you're going to make, that's when you try to find a replacement for that task. Don't replace anything that is, one, not causing you time or money. And it's just a cool thing because everybody else is doing. Well, I have a chief marketing officer. My friend has a chief marketing officer, so I'm gonna hire one. Well, if your business doesn't need promotion, you don't need a chief marketing officer. So you have to understand what your business is. And every business is not the same. People think, oh, I gotta have a CEO, COO, a CIO, a CMO. Not necessarily. Sometimes you just need, if you're the inventor, you probably just need a team to be your mouthpiece. So if you're creating the stuff, you may have 5 or 10 people that know 100 people that you could sell 1,000 products to.
You know what's funny to me? You mentioned that about being a CEO and all this kind of stuff. I was talking to a businessman a long time ago, and he made the statement. He said people are so quick to throw CEO on their title when they become an entrepreneur. They're so quick to say I'm the CEO of my business, when a lot of times the status of a CEO, the status of a CEO also comes with credentials. A lot of time it insinuates that you have a degree or a lineage of of creditable business structure and history that follows you behind that CEO title. And many times, if you're in a business where you're dealing with other businesses and you have CEO on your title or your business card or whatever the case may be, and you jump in front of some real businessmen or CEOs or vice presidents or salesmen or people that look for those titles to really go after, they research you. And in their researches, they find that your CEO title is something that you gave yourself. That can sometimes be frowned upon and possibly even laughed at, because now they're looking at you as if you're self-indulged with the title versus the actual work that comes with it. And many times I tell people, I say, instead of putting CEO on your card, if you feel like you gotta have a title, put president. Put president on your card. Put managing member. Just any of those titles that doesn't really put out there that you're assuming something that you credentially haven't earned. And it's may or may not be a big deal to some people, but it may be that real opportunity that you missed because someone looked and said, oh, he's CEO. They research your business because you can research a business and you got a business entity that only employs 2 people.
Well, I want to say this, and CEO means more than just I own the company.
Exactly.
More than just I'm boss.
It's chief executive officer,
Right.
and there are duties, not just I put the bread behind it, let it do what it do.
Right.
There are things, structures, plans,
Boards,
minutes,
other people.
The whole thing that you need to know when it comes to being a CEO. And it's cute as a rapper or somebody.
And quite honestly, in our communities, you the man. If you become CEO of your own business, like that gives you a social spike, right?
Well, just say you the man of this company.
Yeah, you get more rep of just saying, "Hey, I'm the man," versus saying, "I'm the CEO."
Yeah. Matter of fact, give me the CEO. I'm just the man.
Right.
Like that.
In fact, somebody can have the CEO title, especially if you're the owner of it. And
Exactly.
all you have to do is collect. You're on the golf course. You collect the checks every other week.
There you go.
It's all right.
Matt, I want to thank Matt. We got to wrap this up, but listen, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Wow, so much knowledge here today. You know, Matthew Houston is or Matt, I should say, is an entrepreneur, activist, and educator. Can you just give us some things you're working on, where people can reach you? If do you offer consulting services at all, to where if
I do
small business can help you out with?
So for my consulting business, I do land use, zoning, policy consulting. You can reach me on my email. I'm at matt.houston@mlhenterprises.net, or you can look me up on social, on Instagram, IG, Clubhouse at Mr. Matt Houston, at Mr. Matt Houston. I am doing real estate. I am doing some leadership consulting, and I also consult with schools and education entities on building modules, leadership program modules for students as well.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you so much, man. You dropped a lot of jewels, and you got me thinking. You know, I was just in a phone call with an accountant who reached out to me, and I thought he was trying to sell me something. His rates, I thought, were very reasonable for what he was offering. 300 a month, around three grand and something a year. My taxes, taking care of my invoices. And I was like, you know what? This might be a thing where I can just get rid of this, because I get tired of chasing clients down for money.
Right. Exactly. And one last thing before I go, I thank you all. Thank you both for this. Gabriel, thanks for inviting me. Don, thanks for being the captain on this deal. Your production is amazing. The one thing that people don't realize is that when you're really in business, you're going to create a budget. And a budget, you should write down everything that you're going to spend for the whole year. And the fact that you have a budget should mean you should have either the money to pay for what's in the budget, or you know it's coming in. Those are some things that you can learn down the journey as an entrepreneur. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me in any of my mediums.
That's all
right, man. Thank you for hanging out with us. Enjoy the rest of this year.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I have a couple more hours.
There you go.
There we go. All right. I'm sorry. Your sifter's a little bit bigger than mine. It's
that's all right, but it's decreased significantly since we started.
All right, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Well, Gabe, wow, this was an amazing second show. A lot of great, useful jewels here. You know, I'm definitely going to think about this, getting a CPA and going to handle this and maybe taking this type of load off of my back of, you know, because listen, one thing I don't like is hounding clients for money. And if I can get a CPA that takes that for me and does that for me, you know what? I think it might be worth the $3-4 grand I pay in a year, that I just don't have to deal with that.
Right. No, man. I mean, and that's really what it comes down to. When you're at that breaking point where this one aspect of your business is literally taking more time than it's actually making you money, then it is probably a better idea to find someone that is more qualified, you know, than yourself, or that is their sole duty to go out and maximize whatever that part of your business is for you. Because in the end, you may have been very successful at it, but they may be a little more successful. But the combination of them,
what they do,
yeah, they being more successful and you having more freedom to do what you're naturally and more creative at doing, is both going to ultimately generate more revenue.
Right.
And that's what the end game is continue to inch forward and growing your revenue until it blows wide open.
All right. Well, final thoughts for as we march into 2021. We have about maybe 6 more hours, less than 6 hours before we get into 2020. Any final thoughts as helping people out, you know, who are business owners or who are thinking about starting a business?
Yeah.
And you know, things they need to watch out for, or things that they maybe should achieve in 2021.
Well, my last thought, and for anybody going into business in 2021, I truly believe, take with you that starting a business is not a rushed endeavor. Take your time and think it through. Think through all the aspects of your business. Think all the aspects of your business plan. And as Matt mentioned, really take the time and develop good relationships with your bank. If you don't have the resources for an attorney or an accountant, that doesn't mean you can't start reaching out and getting an understanding of what it's going to take in order to fund those parts of your business when it comes down to it. Because at least if you've had a conversation with a CPA and you know what they charge, you can at least have an idea of where you need to be financially in order to support that as being a part of your structure. Same with the attorney and the banking relationship. From my story, I wish I would have had a banking relationship at that time, but a lot of people don't realize a solid banking relationship is more than just you putting money into the bank. If your banking relationship is great, or you have a good communication with your banker, that banker is an advocate for you towards their financial institution. If you ever need additional funds, you need additional structure or capital, they speak on your behalf as an credible source for you to bypass those lines or that one little criteria that you didn't quite make. They maybe can look over it because of your relationship. So I know a lot of people are looking at, the online banks and things like that. And I have nothing against those, but don't let that be the only source of financial institutions that you have a relationship with. So my last thought is don't rush through the process. Take your time, look everything through, and really just figure out how you want your game plan to really roll out throughout the year and execute your plan.
All right, so listen, I'm going to bring everybody back in real quick, and starting with Matt. Last question before we end this. New Year's resolution for 2021. It's cliche, but I want to hear it.
Good day resolution to my wife.
Matt, we're getting all. You sound like the Transformers. Mayfield. Hold on, let's see if we can get here. It's not working. All right, Matt, Matt, it sounds like you're moving in slow motion. Okay, so
he done turned into a transform over here.
Gabe, New Year's resolution for 2021, a little cliche, but you know what? It's what after the year we've had, what are we looking forward for 2021? We're gonna do better.
2021 for me, my New Year's resolution is I am going to be more committed to being, I guess, more relatable. I feel like I'm a relatable person, but in a sense,
you're a Virgo. You're an introvert by nature. You try to be an extrovert, but you're a Virgo.
Hey man, well listen, I think in this year I'm just going to really step up, reaching out, being more connected to the people around me, to the community around me, and really push my energy towards elevating us as a whole. I've been really living on the mantra right now, stronger together. And I truly believe that, in this time, in this climate, for those that made it through 2020 with all of their wits about them, I truly believe it's because you bound together with someone, your village, and they helped you make it through it. So stronger together is what I'm carrying into 2021.
All right, let's see if we can get Matt back in here. Matt, are we there?
It's better.
Matt, you sound like a transformer again, Matt. It's Optimus Prime right here.
Optimus Prime, what is going on?
Matt, what's going on with your connection? All right, listen, Matt, I'm going to come back to you in a second. I'm going to give you my New Year's resolution, and my New Year's resolution is to be more patient with a lot of things in life. My mother got cancer this year, and I've had to, as an adult, spend more time getting to really know my mother in a different capacity. You see, the relationship has been son-mother, but now it's kind of adult-mother. And it's a different woman that I thought I knew. And so patience, though, I think that's what I'm going to have to work on for 2021, patience with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Less talking, more listening. I think that's a very strong thing that a lot of people can use moving forward into 2021. Less talking, more listening, more patience, more empathy, and more love in 2021. Let's see if we can get Matt one more time. Matt, can we get you for the third time? Let's go.
Good job, man.
Try. I'm going to have patience with you right now because you're talking very slow. Go ahead.
It's about now. No.
It's Optimus Prime. Can you write a letter? Can you write a piece of paper and put it up to the
Come on.
Okay.
Oh God, this
It
is
sounds like he's drunk, right? It sounds like he's drunk, right? This is hilarious. All right, Matt. Can you write a sentence? Just write one sentence. You got a piece of paper? You write one sentence from us.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, we lost you. Matt, we lost you. We love you. I'm sorry. It must have been a whiskey kind of day today for you.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Matt says my plan is to be a good teammate to my wife. You know what, Matt? That's an amazing thing. And that's a whole nother show. I do want to say that is for a whole nother show, but that is one of the best things that anybody who's married can be. A great teammate to the significant other, whether it's the woman being a teammate to the wife and wife being a teammate to the husband.
Hey man, somebody said Matt was chopped and screwed.
You know what, Matt? You were chopped and screwed. No, I'm sorry. I can't disrespect DJ Crew. You were just slowed down. I just want to say that. I can't say you was chopped and screwed because Screw ain't alive no more. You was slowed down. You was slowed down and banging, baby. That's what it was.
I say, man, somebody said his earbuds been drinking.
Oh, you know what? Before we get out of here, we got to shout out. There were a lot of people on your stream. Khalif Cornelius, thank you guys for watching. Lyndon McGriff, thank you for watching. Shelves Jane, thank you for watching. Tanisha Baker, thank you for watching. And Denise Stanford, thank you so much for watching. And what do you got plans for tonight? What are you going to do?
Man, listen, I am home, so I'm going to
play with the baby. I get it.
Yeah, probably take another glass of this, and then I'm going to sit back. The baby is actually asleep.
Good.
She's going to wake up probably in about another 2 hours, and then we go bring in this new year with a bottle of water. Yeah, but before I forget, man, I also want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, TW Photography, C2 Sports, God, I don't forgot all of them. Med Tours LA, and then of course, Man Shit, which is a phenomenal male product line for beard creams and skin creams.
You said Man Shit?
Man Shit, SHYT, Man Shit. So MANSHYT.
Okay, I got you.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff. So thank you to all our sponsors, and we really appreciate everybody watching. It's been a great show, and my last words is just continue to do what you do and work hard and hustle harder as we go into 2021.
All right. Well, tell Mika and the baby, thank you for allowing us to steal you. And until 2021, we will see you next year.